Auckland Art Gallery. Tamaki is the principal public gallery in Auckland, New Zealand, and has the most extensive collection of national and international art in New Zealand. It frequently hosts travelling international exhibitions, set below the hilltop Albert Park in the central city area of Auckland. The gallery was established in 1888 as the first permanent art gallery in New Zealand. The building originally housed the Auckland Art Gallery as well as the Auckland Public Library, opening with collections donated by benefactors, Governor Sir George Grey and James Tannock McKelvey. This was the second public art gallery in New Zealand, opened 3 years after the Dunedin Public Art Gallery in 1884. Wellington's New Zealand Academy of Fine Arts opened in 1892 and a Wellington Public Library in 1893. Christchurch's Robert McDougall Art Gallery opened in 1932, and was superseded by a spectacular Christchurch Art Gallery in 2003. Many other cities and towns built public libraries and a few boasted public art galleries, including Nelson Suter Art Gallery, Whanganui's Sargent Gallery and New Plymouth's Govert Brewster Art Gallery. History. Throughout the 1870s, many people in Auckland felt the city needed a municipal art collection, but the newly established Auckland City Council was unwilling to commit funds to such a project. Following pressure by such eminent people as Sir Maurice O'Rourke and others, the building of a combined art gallery and amp library was made necessarily by the promise of significant bequests from two major benefactors, former colonial Governor Sir George Grey and James Tannock McKelvey. Grey had promised books for a municipal library as early as 1872 and eventually donated large numbers of manuscripts, rare books and paintings from his collection to the Auckland Gallery and Amp Library. He also gave material to Cape Town, where he had also been governor. The Grey bequest includes works by Caspar Netscher, Henry Fuseli, William Blake and David Wilkie. McKelvey was a businessman who had retained an interest in Auckland affairs after returning to Britain. In the early 1880s he announced a gift of 105 framed watercolors, oil paintings, and a collection of drawings. His gift eventually amounted to 140 items, including paintings, decorative arts, ceramics and furniture from his London residence. These form the core of the McKelvey Trust collection, which is shared between the Auckland City Art Gallery, the Public Library and the Auckland Museum. McKelvey's will stipulated a separate gallery to display his bequest. This was not popular with the city authorities, but a special room was dedicated to the collection in 1893, and eventually the top-lit McKelvey Gallery was built in 1916. The McKelvey Trust continues to purchase artworks to add to the collection, which now includes significant 20th-century bronzes by Archipenko, Board L. Epstein, Moore and Elizabeth Frink. The collection, the Auckland Gallery collection, was initially dominated by European Old Master paintings following the standard taste of the 19th century. Today the collection has expanded to include a wider variety of periods, styles and media, and numbers over 15,000 artworks. Many New Zealand and Pacific artists are represented, as well as Europe and material from the Middle Ages to the present day. Notable New Zealand artists with extensive representation include Gretchen Albrecht, Marty Friedlander, C. F. Goldie, Alfred Henry O'Keeffe, Francis Hodgkins, Gottfried Lindauer and Colin McCarran. Some of these works were donated by the artists themselves. In 1915 a collection of paintings of Maori by Gottfried Lindauer was donated to the gallery by Henry Partridge, an Auckland businessman. He made the gift on the proviso that the people of Auckland raised £10,000 for the Belgium Relief Fund. The money was raised within a few weeks. Another major benefactor was Lucy Carrington Wertheim, Miss Wertheim was an art gallery owner in London, and through her support of expatriate artist Frances Hodgkins bestowed on the Auckland Art Gallery a representative collection of British paintings from the interwar period. Her gifts in 1948 and 1950 totaled 154 works by modern British artists, including Christopher Wood, Frances Hodgkins, Phelan Gibb, R.O. Dunlop and Alfred Wallace. The Wertheim collection was initially displayed in a separate room opened by the Mayor J.A.C. Allam on 2 December 1948. In 1953, Rex Nankivell donated an important collection of prints, including work by George French Angus, Sidney Parkinson, Nicholas Chevalier, and Augustus Earle. The 1960s saw the arrival of the Watson Bequest, a collection of European medieval art. In 1967, the Spencer collection of early English and New Zealand watercolors was donated. This included early New Zealand views by John Gully, John Hoyt, and John Kinder. In 1982, on the death of Dr. Walter Orban, print collector and valued advisor to the gallery's prints and drawings department, the McKelvey Trust received his magnificent collection of over 1,500 prints, including work by Calet, Piranesi, Della Bella and Holler. In 1952, Eric Westbrook was appointed as the first full-time director of the art gallery. He was succeeded in 1955 by Peter Tomery, who stayed until 1965. Both men sought to revitalize the gallery and introduce modern art to a largely conservative public in the face of resistance from a largely hostile city council. The 1956 Spring Exhibition Object and Image showed works by modern artists such as John Weeks, Louise Henderson, Milan Markusic, Colin McCarran, Case Jackson and Ross Fraser. Other controversial exhibitions, including Henry Moore and Barbara Hepworth, resulted in serious confrontation between the council and Tomery, resulting in his resignation. Tomery's intended purchase of Hepworth's Torso II in 1963 changed the climate of art and culture in New Zealand. Even the conservative NZ Herald pointed out to its readers, "It is no function of an art gallery to be stuffed with exhibits which everyone can comprehend." The bronze statue was privately bought by local businessman George Wooler and anonymously donated to the gallery. In 1988, Christopher Johnston succeeded Rodney Wilson as director. During his 8 years as director, major exhibitions included Pablo Picasso, The Artist Before Nature, Rembrandt or Renoir, which attracted a record attendance for an exhibition charge exhibition of 210,000, and, in 1995, a program marking the centennial of the artist's visit to the gallery, including the exhibition Paul Gauguin, Pages from the Pacific, and a major book, Gauguin and Maori Art. Other achievements during his incumbency were the funding and development of the new Gallery for Contemporary Art, which opened in 1995, the establishment of Haerewa, the Maori Advisory Group, and a significant range of acquisitions for the collection and the McKelvey Trust, including works by Vanessa Bell, John Nash, John Tunnard, Anish Kapoor, Jesus Raphael Soto and Ed Rusher. On 4 April 2012, it was announced that the Auckland Art Gallery would join the Google Art Project. "It is a fantastic opportunity to share with the rest of the world some of the best of our New Zealand and international collection," said RFA Gallery Director Chris Sains. "People can learn about and enjoy New Zealand art up close even when they are on the other side of the planet." Auckland Art Gallery has contributed 85 artworks to the project. 56 are from its New Zealand Pacific collection and 29 by international artists. artists. The gallery's two senior curators, Ron Brownson and Mary Kisler, selected the works. Examples of New Zealand art now available via Google Art Project include Colin McAfeen's On Building Bridges and paintings by Dunedin-born Francis Hodgkins. Buildings. The main gallery building was originally designed by Melbourne architects Granger and Amp Debro to house not only the art gallery but also the City Council offices, lecture theatre and public library. It is constructed of brick and plaster in an early French Renaissance style and was completed in 1887, with an extension built in 1916. It is 3 stories high, with an attic in the steep pitched roofs, and a 6-story clock tower. The building was registered as a Category I heritage item by the New Zealand Historic Places Trust on 24 November 1983, listed with registration number 92. The new building eventually proved too small to house all the council departments, and overflow space in the Customs House in Customs Street was found to be necessary. Following the completion of the Auckland Town Hall in 1911, all council departments left the gallery building, allowing expansion of gallery facilities, including extra workshop space for art classes. Several artists maintained studio space in the complex during the period just after the war. The weaver Ilse von Randau utilized the clock tower rooms and created on-site the art gallery ceremonial curtains, executed as part of the 1950s modernization. In 1969, the art classes and studios were relocated to Ponsonby, where a decommissioned police station by John Campbell at 1 Ponsonby Road was relaunched as Art Station, which continues the gallery outreach programs. From 1969 to 1971, the building underwent remodeling and a new wing and sculpture garden were added. This was the result of the lavish Philip Edmiston bequest, which had been announced in 1946, which had stipulated the building of a new gallery. In 1971, the public library was moved to the new Auckland Public Library building by Ewan Wayne Scott in nearby Launch Street. In the late 2000s, a major extension was mooted, which caused substantial criticism from some quarters due to its cost, design and the fact that land from Albert Park would be required for the extension. In late 2007, the gallery closed for extensive renovations and reopened on 3 September 2011. During this time of closure, temporary exhibitions were held at the new gallery on the corner of Wellesley and Lawn Streets. The new renovation and expansion of the gallery creates at least 50% additional display space. In 2008, Council decided to go ahead with the extension, which finished in 2011 for a total of $113 million, of which Auckland City Council contributed just under $50 million. The expansion, designed by Australian architecture firm FJMT in partnership with Auckland-based Archimedia, increased exhibition space by 50%, for up to 900 artworks, and provided dedicated education, child and family spaces. As part of the upgrade, existing parts of the structure were renovated and restored to its 1916 state, amongst other things ensuring that the 17 different floor levels in the building were reduced to just 6. The redevelopment has to date received 17 architectural and 6 design-related awards, including the World Architecture Festival's 2013 World Building of the Year. One of the sealed entrances to the Albert Park tunnels can be found behind the Art Gallery on Wellesley Street. Directors. Although founded in 1888, the gallery did not employ a professional director until the appointment of Englishman Eric Westbrook in 1952. 2013 present. Rana Davenport, 1996 to 2013. Chris Sains, 1988 to 1995. Christopher Johnston, 1981 to 1988, Dr. T. L. Rodney Wilson, 1979 to 1891, Grant Kirby, 1974 to 1979, Professor Ernest Smith, 1972 to 1974, Richard Tellerhirsch, 1965 to 1972, Gil Docking, 1965 to 1972, Professor Peter Tomery, 1952 to 1955, Dr. Eric Westbrook,